Hi everyone, my name is Yara. I'm a freelance illustrator who's working on children's books, and today I want to quickly show you how I paint my illustrations using acrylic gouache and coloring pencils. And as you can see, I started quickly by printing my sketch right into the paper, and for this piece I'm using Arch's hot pressed watercolor paper. I found it great because the texture is so nice, it's not super grainy, and the finish that you get is like super nice. So I hope that makes sense. And you probably saw that I started by doing a quick wash, like with some yellow acrylic gouache, and I think it just gives a very nice tint to the whole work, and it's just a little trick that I use to make the colors look cohesive and like united. So definitely use this little trick if that's what you're aiming for in your works. And yeah, I find that acrylic gouache is super easy to work with. I tried regular gouache last time. It was at university, and actually just one company sent me their gouache to try, and this is like a completely different medium because the thing with acrylic gouache, it's not touching any layers underneath, so it's pretty easy to layer colors and you won't get some muddy colors because of that. It's just not mixing together. So acrylic gouache, it dries very fast, so that's another reason why I use wet palette. It's basically just a paper towel that is super wet. On top it's just parchment paper, and that's how I keep my palette, because otherwise it dries way too quick. So I wouldn't recommend using porcelain or plastic palettes because you just won't have enough time to do something with your colors. It will just dry out. And especially if you're making like a big illustration, for instance, this one is, I believe, 9 by 12 inches, so it's pretty big, you know. I needed a lot of time, and I'm still mixing colors around. For instance, I do one color, I do like one object with that color, and then I just can continue mixing the same color until I get a different color that I can use someplace else. And that's what I really like about it. It's very high pigmented, and I'm using Holbein Acrylic Gouache. It was very pricey, but let's be honest, I really think it's worth it because the pigmentation is super high. You need just a tiny drop, and as you can see, I have way too much green right now on my palette, and that's totally my fault. But I don't like wasting my paint, so what I usually do when I finish the piece and I know that I won't need this color anymore, I just quickly paint some scraps that I have so that I can use them in the future for my collage projects. And yeah, that's, I think, a very good way to, you know, prepare yourself for your future works, because I know that the colors that I mixed just now, they are nice, and I would love to do it again, you know, and probably for my future works I would do it again. So why not just paint a little paper and then save it and use it later for my other works. So that's also another tip that I have if you are like me, very anxious about expensive paint going to waste. So yeah, I found it very nice because I have a whole folder with my scraps, little papers, just all the different colors that you can possibly think of, and that's very helpful because if I want to do another collage work, I have everything ready. I don't need to get my paints again, set my whole desk for that. I can just start cutting because I have enough material for that. What I also really like about acrylic gouache is that you can easily repaint stuff. So you probably noticed that I painted this one of the drawers of the kitchen with like green color, but then I decided, okay, I don't really like how it looks, and I decided just to paint it over. So for me, this medium feels really much like digital art, because you can easily fix everything. And you see that I started with dark stuff. I'm not starting with light shades because I like using these lighter tones to fix stuff around. So when I see that, for instance, I did some like extra stroke and I need to, fix it. So later on you will see that I start the background at last because that's the most like bright spot in my illustration. So I will just fix around areas where I think I did some kind of mistake with my brush. And that's why I also really like the acrylics and acrylic gouache, because it's just very opaque. Like you can cover up everything. And yeah, I did this little speed paint. At some parts you can see that it's a real-time painting, but most of the time, of course, obviously I sped it up because it would be way too long to show everything. And I don't know, just let me know if I should try maybe cutting in a way that you would see real-time, like as you are seeing now with this kitchen stove. Because yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of the time to make the precise line that I would be satisfied with. So yeah, I had to speed it up. And I hope you enjoy the process. So probably for now I will leave it up to you to watch. I will put some music, I guess, and yeah, I have something to say at the end of my process. So see you then. Hello again. You can see here that I started doing details, and I really love that with acrylic gouache you can just paint with white on top of black stuff. As you can see, I'm doing all the details on the shelf, and it's all just turning out very nice because the paint is just very highly pigmented. You can still see like a bit of transparency to some of the glass jars, but this all will be covered because I will do a second layer just in case, you know, and at the end probably you won't be able to tell me that I did it at last and not at first. And also I will paint the shelf itself, the background of it, so that it doesn't look so like watercolorish, because I don't really like the texture there at the moment. But that's all, again, as I told you, very easy to fix. So here I'm starting with my background color, And you see that I'm fixing some things. For instance, the shelf, it was really like not sharp edge, so I can easily just use the background color to fix it up, and it just feels so nice. You know, it's, you have to be more careful, obviously, because yeah, I now have to basically go around everything as accurately as possible. But at the same time, I feel like if I would do the background first and then the objects, and if I do the mistake, it would be very hard to mix the same color that I had for the background to fix up stuff. And I prefer being like super accurate with my work, so it's better for me when I just, you know, can fix things easily. So that's just the way I chose to do it. Maybe that's not the best way, but so far it works for me. And now basically I'm starting my favorite part. It's adding final touches with my coloring pencils, and this is like very fun to do because that's finally the stage where you see that the work is coming together, you know. All the details are bringing it all up. The only downside is that acrylic gouache gives you this kind of like, you know, plasticky feeling, and it's not even feeling, it's mostly like the property of it that some pencils are just not laying very good on it. And at some angle, for instance, if I just you know, rotate the paper a bit, you might see a reflection because the pencils are just not laying way too good on it. It's fine, you know, most of the time I'm just fixing that up if something is wrong at the end, like when I do the final touch-ups in Procreate, when I try to scan basically my work. But for the original pieces, probably, yeah, you need some extra effort, maybe extra materials, if you want your work not be super shiny when you look at the pencil parts, but I don't think that's like a huge problem because it still works. I've heard that people use gesso to like do a little wash before they start painting, because apparently I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, it gives you like better texture for pencils later on. I need to try that. I'm not sure, but so far I'm okay with that. Especially here you can see where I'm doing drawers on the kitchen cabinets. You could see the pencil is like not very laying there good, like it gives a bit of reflection, but I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, maybe if you looked at the original work, yeah, that might be weird at some angles, but again, you can fix that all up in Procreate when you scan your work. And to scan my work, I just use my phone, I take a few photos, I combine them, and that's it. And I really hope that this video was helpful for you and you've learned maybe something new about my process. And that was like a little bit of pain to record because the lighting now is very bad and I was drawing at night because, of course, obviously I have all the inspiration coming to me at night. So please forgive me for that, and I hope you still can see everything very clear. I recently sold my camera, so I had to record this whole thing with my phone, but I think it's good, it's okay, right? I'm not sure, just let me know. And here's my favorite part where I just remove all the tape, and I tape my work because the wash, the first step that I do, is usually gives the paper a little bit of wave, so it's better to tape it down, and then you can just change that. You can remove it after you wash because the regular paints, they are just not giving you this wavy paper. I still prefer to press down my work so that I know for sure it's fine afterwards and straight. Yeah, and that's basically it, final touches, and it's done. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you on the next one. Bye!